Hello, my name is Grim. This is the stadium game in which I got the Pro 5 rank playing Mercy. I will, as well, be providing some commentary. So I hope you all enjoy. As you can see, this is the beginning of the match where we're choosing our characters. I do edit a bunch of the useless downtime out, so that way you all get as much of the actual fighting content as possible. You can see here the enemy team has a D.Va, an Ashe, a Genji, a Juno, and a Mercy. I am now choosing my powers. The first one I always go for is Threads of Fate. I am a huge fan of the double healing and double damage boost, even though the second end of the damage boost and healing is only 50%. I still find it to be quite powerful. That is just my opinion. I usually try to grab a survival perk, as you well saw, and a perk that gives me 15% to my ultimate. Those are just the perks that I choose first. The doors have opened and the match is about to begin. So here we go. As a Mercy, natural cover is your best friend. I've chosen one of my DPS who I believe is going to be doing the best to be my pocket target to keep them alive mostly, and as well as damage boost them, hoping they get the kills. I do die here. I was in a bad area and they had a decent Ashe who was able to hit their shots. I've resurrected. Let's get back to the fight. I am with my pocket target. My pocket target died. My whole team actually dies there as we were heading back, so we are not going to engage. We don't want to die again and stagger. We are trying to get a few little, maybe a pick here, just some damage going, get our ults a little bit higher, but I'm hiding up top so I can't be seen while my beam target is just doing damage. I do lose my beam target a few times. My Mercy movement is not the best, but it is decent enough to help to actually let me climb. I am keeping people alive here. Their whole team is pretty much done, so we're just kind of pushing in, and I'm damage boosting and keeping people alive with Healing Beam as needed. I am staying near the cart because we do need to push it, and I think my Juno is above me and might not actually be on it. So I'm trying to stay close to the cart as much as possible, but our Juno is near the cart, so this is just helping it to push faster. My beam target is pushing in, I'm keeping them alive as well as healing others, but I'm making sure to damage boost them as much as possible because they will be doing the most work and they will most likely be our win condition for this game. I'm staying with my beam target, not much really going on here. Their team is just rezzing. I do Valk here. I'm not sure why. I think I heard one of them use an ult, but it doesn't really hurt to Valk there because I can just use this to keep my team alive as well as stay away from them. It's just not a bad Valk at all. It doesn't get much value in the damage department, but I was able to survive and pretty much helped hold the point for a bit. My DPS die and we try to pull out, but I do die on my way out. Now let's head back to the fight. I see my beam target, I get to them, I damage boost them. They're fighting on the point a small bit. My Zarya and Genji didn't die. They were holding them back. So we were able to hold where our position was on the robot. I did fly in and tried to keep my Genji alive and did so pretty well. But I'm making sure that my beam target doesn't die, but they just took too much damage. So I used natural cover and got the res there. Damage boosting while my beam target stands in the Juno ult, which means I don't need to heal them. So it's just double damage on top of that. Oh, now I have to hide from the D.Va Bomb. I flew to my beam target and the D.Va Bomb was close by, but it did not kill me. My Juno is running in front of me. She's trying to tell me she needs healing. And girl, I saw you. I saw that. I am keeping with my beam target though. I Valked here. The round was pretty much over, so there's no reason not to Valk. And if any of them were coming out, my beam target was going to be able to stagger them, hopefully. My beam target was the ally MVP of the round, and so they pretty much just did work. Now we head into round two. Round two, I always like to go for specific powers. I go for the 8% health, armor, and shields, as well as the Guardian Angel range, because one of the best things about Mercy is her beam. And so if I can get Guardian Angel range to get to my target quicker, then that means I'm going to be able to heal them faster or sooner or damage boost and help them get that kill. So I always go for the Guardian Angel range first. It also helps in me because it lets me to get out if my team dies, but like say my Juno gets out, then I can fly to her from a farther range, and it does help me to stay alive. As you can see, I stay with my beam target. I'm taking high ground there, but not keeping it. I thought my soldier, my beam target, was going to like sit there and do damage, but they pushed in. So I'm keeping with my beam target. I'm also healing others. I'm just using natural cover. I can see my whole team. I can jump and heal people, but I'm also keeping my beam target damage boosted. That's Mercy's biggest asset, is her ability to damage boost is 75%, in my opinion, of why Mercy is easy to play and good to play. As you can see, not much is really happening here. I'm just flying around, staying with my beam target, helping them to deal damage and keeping my team alive. My Juno's doing most of that work, so I do try to damage boost as much as possible, as you can see here. I enjoy taking height as Mercy because that lets me get a wider view of what's going on, see all my teammates, hopefully see enemies before they get into an advantage position to kill me or do something that I don't like. It's just better for me. You should be doing this as Mercy because the more you can see, the more likely you are to be an asset to your team. We are pushing them back toward their spawn, so there's not much danger for me to push up a little bit here, and I am staying with my beam target. That is literally the biggest part of Mercy, is to stay with your beam target. And I will reiterate that as much as possible. It was drilled into me by a top Mercy player, so I'm pretty much just going to drill that into pretty much any of my videos that I have. Our Zarya is close to dying, but with that extra beam range, I am able to keep her alive. I am Valking. The point is pretty much ours. So the Valk is just to get that extra last percent in, maybe keep my team alive if a blade comes out or a Bob comes out, and help me to get away quickly. So Valking there, end of round, do it. If you have Valk, use it at the end of the round. If you're about to win, use it. It could always save somebody. It's just good to use because you're not taking it into the next round. Now it's round 3. I go Renaissance. You can go Crepuscular Circle. Both are good. My team is actually doing incredibly well. So those Valk resurrections for even 5 seconds are going to be more helpful to my team than the whole boost when I actually get my Valk. I go with the beam range here because I have the Guardian Angel range. So now I have a massive amount of range to play with. Natural cover, longer range on just flying around, beaming targets. So survivability is useless to me now. I am going to be a hidden little ninja, a ninja Mercy, if you would say. So I'm just going to be hiding and keeping my beam target alive and damage boosted. My beam target and I go to the left here. We are going to be met by their team and a Genji, but my beam target is going to stay alive. I make sure of that. Now see, natural cover here is me falling off the backside. That allows for me to pretty much be far away. And also, if they look at me, my beam target will just pretty much destroy them. I did some very good movement there. Mercy movement is crazy. I res the Genji. They died. That gives me 5 seconds of Valk. That lets my team push a little bit. And I back up to cap the point because my team likes to push forward all the time. A Mercy shouldn't be capping the point. Should it be our Genji or our soldier? Sure. But hey, I want to win, so I'm going to cap the point. Me and the soldier stay back and cap the point. The Genji, the Zarya, and our Juno are pushed forward. Our Genji does die there, but that's not going to be that big of a deal. My soldier and I start to push forward, and we're able to meet our team. They are pushing us a little bit, but the point hasn't really activated, so we have time currently. Just damage boosting, healing my team, keeping people alive. I'm getting closer and closer to my Valk. Our Genji is now back in the fight. As you can see, I'm flying around, staying with my beam target, and now I do Valk, so that way we can push the point. I'm flying around, keeping people healed. Our Juno ults, I'm just helping with the healing and the damage boosting. My soldier is about to die, and I am going to get a decent res from this. We have killed most of them. We killed 2 of them, actually. So the Valk was safe. The res was safe. Sorry, I misspoke. The res was safe, and 2 of them were dead. So getting them up gives me Valk, gives me another team member in the fight. Simple, easy res. Some reses I do aren't safe, and you'll see later, but that was a safe res and a good res. And we capped the point, and now we're going to be heading into round 4. My Juno was the ally MVP. I think my soldier was for most of our games, but my Juno was doing a lot of work there. She was healing a lot. So I will give props to her. Now, round 4, we're choosing our abilities. I go for weapon power because on Mercy, weapon power is healing increase. I have tested this in multiple stadium matches. It is a healing increase. I choose weapon power plus cooldown reduction. That's for resurrection. That's for guardian angel to fly around. And since I'm able to fly further, and I can be further away from my target, that just means I'm going to be Superwoman flying around. This is round 4, and we do win this round, but it is about to begin, and you're about to see pretty much how it goes. I stay with my beam target. You see that. It's not news. We initiate the fight. I'm using natural cover, but able to see my whole team. You need to be able to see your entire team to be able to keep them alive. My Genji needs a little bit of healing, but I make sure to stay with my beam target. My Genji died. I don't know how. I think it was like instantaneously, but safe res, I Valk, and I'm using natural cover while airborne. So I can see enemies, allies, everything. You need to learn the natural covers of the maps. Those are your best friends on any map for Mercy. Your best friends. Your beam target is your next best friend, especially if they're doing really well. But natural cover, mwah, chef's kiss. I'm staying with my beam target, even though the Genji goes to the right. My beam target's doing better than our Genji currently, and has been for the whole game, so I'm keeping my beam target alive. They're taking a lot of damage here. The Genji almost kills them. I make sure to keep my Zarya alive, which means just some healing. And since the double healing beam doesn't matter really how far away they are, if they're within a decent proximity, I do clip it to my soldier, so that way my Zarya, who was going to be out of my range, gets my beam. I Valk here because they are pushing out, and there's an ult going on, the Juno ult, but my Zarya does die. She just took too much damage. I do go for the res here, and I waited, and it costs me my life, so it was not a safe res. I thought it would have been, but as I was flying, circumstances change. Me and my beam target get back to the fight, which you can see my beam target is my soldier, and I'm trying to keep them alive. I hide in this cubby because there's a Bob. I do not want the Bob to kill me, to see me, or anything like that. I'm staying back, providing natural cover for myself, keeping my beam target alive. It's a lot of reiteration that you'll pretty much hear from any Mercy content creator. If they do what I'm doing, a lot of it is just natural cover, keeping your beam target alive. I see that my team is pushing, and I see that I can get the res on my Juno, and this will give me Valk and let me come into the fight super quick with a lot of healing and a lot of damage boost, whichever one I choose. Here, I chose healing, and I do die. I thought I was safe from the D.Va Bomb, but I wasn't. As you can plainly see, I died. Me and my soldier go to the right. My soldier's just going to, use the advantage of the high point to do damage. Their Genji pushes us, and we have a little bout with the Genji, but it doesn't end well for the Genji. As you're about to see, the Genji keeps pushing us and is pretty much close to dead. And sometimes a Mercy just has to finish off the Genji. Well, finish off anybody. I Valk here to come in to try and keep my team alive, and I don't. So I try to go back to my beam target, and I connect my beam, but it disconnects quickly, and it costs my beam target their life. And we sort of all die here. Uh, my beam target dies, and I try to keep my Zarya alive so we can hold the point as much as possible, but I also die. But as I do res, my Juno does get back. My Genji does do a sick blade and kills 3 of them, and that does win us the round. And that's pretty much how the game went. Uh, the 4th round was the round that was the most difficult because most people have a lot of their powers. But I did get Pro 5, and that was how I did it as Mercy. I hope you all enjoyed.